A car, for people, is really like a living being. It makes sounds. It has eyes. It has a mouth. It breathes. Also is with you when you make some of your most important memories. And for me, that rings very true. I think that's the capability of people to humanize them. That's what makes them the most relevant product in our civilization.
You started halfway on the other side of the planet and found your way here. How did you do that?
Growing up in Sao Paulo, city plagued by traffic. So commuting was a big part of our days as kids, and playing car games with my parents and my siblings was always like the way to pass time. I think a lot of that like instinctively remains with me, just like constantly looking at vehicles like fronts and rears and seeing faces on them. And it's so interesting how like just playing with proportions, you can just make a vehicle look more serious. You can make a vehicle look more fun. You can make a vehicle look faster. My mom was like a fine arts major and like just like always encouraging me to sketch and draw. So I just figured I was gonna be a designer of some sort because I just had like that impulse to create and to build.
I've always been a fan of cars, and then I would draw too. So I had a little talent for drawing and building models and just that mechanical and automotive interest. So I started focusing on transportation design, but my love of hot rods and muscle cars and vintage cars and toys never left me. So when I was doing it, I was struggling because they wanted new cars. They wanted things that hadn't been invented yet for markets that hadn't been developed yet. And here I am drawing like a 40-year-old car with a big engine sticking out of it. It's like, maybe this isn't for me after all.
Did you always see vehicles as mechanical objects?
For me, you know, when I was a young kid, I watched Herbie the Love Bug, and this vehicle was alive. And there was a follow-up movie, Herbie Rides Again, where the trolley car was alive, the piano was alive. All these mass-produced objects, they were all alive. That always inspired me as a kid. I would think as a kid, oh, the car is alive, or it's got some kind of essence to it.
When we're talking about anthropomorphism and cars inevitably like resembling like living beings, I think, you know, it gets to take me back in like, you know, first like 5 years in this world, like just like being fascinated with like animals. And that's what I was drawing, like dinosaurs, animals, this idea of like an athletic stance on them, you know, because they're out there to run the fields and everything. I think it still carries with me when I set up like a car sketch and I try to like just stance the sketch out. Sometimes you're looking at like this clay model in the studio, and then they have you bring a mirror, and then you go like, okay, now just look at the clay model from the mirror back.
Right, and it looks completely different.
Completely different. You just see stuff that like you had never seen before, and you've been working on this for weeks.
And then maybe it ties back and completes that whole design.
Yeah, exactly.
We had a foundation design teacher. He always said the smaller is to the greater as the greater is to the whole. So making all those elements tie into each other as a cohesive package.
Like, what if people got to see the sketch in Hot Wheels of like a modern vehicle?
Currently, we do a tuned style. It's a Nopo style of Hot Wheels.
Yeah.
What if we took a Hot Wheels car and applied that to the new Silverado?
It's fun, like, because at the end of the day, it's always a game of proportions. We want to anchor, make the body like very solid and stable. And that lends itself as like a good design technique because, you know, it just got like such like an impressive battery down there. But then where is it gonna go next? I do not swear by these proportions, okay?
There's so much history here. I mean, Harley Earl walked these halls, Bill Mitchell walked these halls, Bill Porter. I mean, all these famous car designers, John DeLorean, engineers.
These are always like large shoes to fill. One of the most inspirational things that I can do when I'm feeling a creative block is just walk around the building and see what like all the other designers for the other brands are doing, just like absorbing it. And then you either have the choice of like, I saw something cool, or I saw that everybody's leaning towards some like style, and what if I push the boundaries there?
It's interesting, like with old cars, like how were they designed before that?
I finally got to go to Italy, and in the Vatican Museum, they had this transportation museum where they show from horse carriage to Pope mobiles, but you just see so many Victorian age carriages, like right before, Industrial Revolution. So it was like the latest horse carriage, like just the way that they adorn the body, the way that they do the body side around the occupants, like where it's like kind of has this like bucket feel to it, right? And then just the shorter step into, oh, now we got propulsion. And that's how it all started.
I have a 67 Firebird that I had built up some years back. And
I heard about it.
well, hopefully in a good way. Like when I was in the process of building it, I was about 4 years in, and I'm an impatient person. So I just wanted to get the thing drivable. So I just clear coated it so that the metal would be protected. I'm like, I'll just deal with painting it later. I had a vision for it. But after I got the car out on the road and started taking it to local shows and whatnot, everyone would just come up to this thing and they go right by all the shiny, finished, painted cars and touch it and look at it. Whoa, what is that? Is that bare metal? What did you do? And you see the hammer marks, the welds, imperfections. You can still see the factory lead from when GM bonded the roof to the quarter panel. And I was just like, well, maybe I've got something here.
You know the rules, but then you decided to bend them a little bit. And you're like, I'm just gonna leave it on the clear paint. And guess what? You started something new.
Apparently, yeah.
In order to leave a mark on the planet, you should plant a tree, write a book, things like that, right? I like to think these creations like a metal toy or a metal car that's hauling families, it's always gonna be here on this planet and it's always gonna contain a meaning of its lifespan.